If there's one thing I hate as much as cheaters in any video game, it's Smurfs. But what's the difference when you really think about it? Hey guys, Nightfall here, and I'm just gonna cut to the chase. If you're against Smurf accounts, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I feel like this is gonna get juicy. If you don't know what a Smurf account is, or if you Smurf or you're okay with people doing it, then maybe stick around and hopefully I can explain to you why it's not okay and why it's harmful for a game like this. So if you've been following the channel since the X-Defiant days, may it rest in peace, you'll know my stance on Smurf accounts. And I was actually able to get a few of them banned, had all of their ranked rewards stripped because, well, they don't deserve to be taking them from other players. This is very much the same song and dance, and I made a video a while back on Smurf accounts on this game, but now it's just getting out of hand and I feel like I need to dive a little deeper. So let me start from the beginning. A Smurf account is simply a new account that someone makes to start fresh. Now, these accounts are made for a ton of reasons. Could be any reason, really. Either the queues are too long on their main account, they want to play with their friend, but they're too high of a rank, they want to boost their friend, but they're too bad at the game and they need help, they make it to sell it at some point. The list goes on and on. Very, very rarely is something like this ever done in good taste. In most games, Smurfing is a bannable offense based on most companies' terms and conditions, barring you from making multiple accounts. However, it is very rarely enforced. Games like Valorant have been known to enforce it and even have anti-Smurf ranking in place to combat these things, where they'll exponentially grow out of the lower ranks a lot faster. Now, in this game, there is no such section anywhere that limits multiple accounts. And just the other day, someone made the comment that every high-ranked player has 2 to 3 Smurfs at minimum. If for any reason you already have more than one Smurf account, you're part of the problem, and you're, dare I say it, scummy. Since this game has no rules against Smurfing or against multiple accounts, there really isn't anything that can be done about it from a banning standpoint, at least as far as I'm aware. And this is part of the reason why I'm making this video, to try to bring some awareness to the issue and explain my side of things. The main problem with Smurfing is that you're stomping on much lower ranked players over and over again, numerous times if you have multiple accounts. And you are basically ruining the experience for those players who may end up quitting the game. Now, on the flip side, if you're someone who believes they went up against a Smurf account, try not to get discouraged and maybe don't quit, at least not yet. This is still a great game despite the 1% of scum that inhabits it, and it will get better. So the comment I made earlier on about how is Smurfing different than cheating? Well, when you boil it down to the basics, the root cause and the root outcomes of both of these two things, they aren't all that different. What is cheating? Cheating is things like wall hacks, aimbot, etc. Basically anything that gives you an unfair advantage and potentially ruins other players' experience in-game. Would a Punk Master ranked player making a new account and playing against gold ranked players be an unfair advantage that normally wouldn't happen under the existing matchmaking circumstances? Yeah, it would qualify. And does Smurfing ruin the other player's experience that they're just steamrolling over? Absolutely. Now, the reasons as to why players are Smurfing in this game, provided to me by someone who will remain unnamed, but it's the same person who accused me of viewbotting a long time ago. Go figure. But the reasons they gave were because queue times were long, and if the game had more players, no one would Smurf anymore. Stop me if you've heard this all before, because I certainly have. These are the same bullshit excuses that people like Astonish used to spew in X-Defiant, and it's all lies. First of all, go look at any other game with a much larger player count and normal queue times, and you'll still find Smurfs. Siege, Valorant, Call of Duty, all of them have Smurf accounts. Nothing will ever stop people from Smurfing because, just like cheating, these people get a kick out of stomping on lower ranked players, but don't simply want to just play standard because they're not taking away RP from those players in a standard game mode. But the reason they'll give you on why they don't just go and play standard is because it's too easy and they just want competitive play. And if that's the case, we have custom matches for that exact reason. Some of you might remember when they used to say the exact same thing in XDefiant, that if custom matches would come out, they wouldn't have to smurf. Well, spoiler alert, we got customs, and guess what? They still smurf. Maybe even harder and more often. But regardless if it's lies or not, they are contributing to their own problem. Stick with me here for a second. They claim they smurf, main reason being because of long queue times. Well, ask yourself, why are queue times so long? Simple answer, because there's just a lack of players in those high ranks during certain times of the day. And what is one of the many factors driving players away? Smurfs, corrupting lower ranked lobbies. It's not the only reason, and it's certainly not the top reason. And it absolutely is not driving away players in hordes. However, in a game with a player count like this, we need all the players we can get. So turning away any amount of players is absolutely contributing to that problem. And ultimately, potentially, contributing to the downfall of an amazing game. And if you don't believe me that Smurfs push people away, I'll ask the same question I asked when I made these videos about XDefiant. If you've ever quit a game because of playing against people on Smurf accounts, let me know down in the comments, whether that be you quit permanently or you quit for a week or a month, whatever. Let me know. But I hope this can serve as somewhat of an educational video of sorts to help explain to this community why smurfing is bad and why it's detrimental to the comeback of this game, given the position that it's in with the player count that it has. And that's all I have to say about that. But toss your thoughts down in the comments for me and let me know your stance on smurfing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.